want to talk about the celestial sphere. The celestial sphere is a tool for understanding the way in which we perceive the night sky here on the Earth. What I have here, a couple different models. Let me start with this one of the Earth. It's just a beach ball all blown up. And the Earth is doing a couple different things that complicates the way in which we do perceive the sky. For one thing, it's rotating on a spin axis. That's how we get our one day, so it rotates once every 24 hours. Here's a yellow ball to represent the sun. So the other motion that the Earth does, and clearly not to scale, is that the Earth is going around the sun once a year. So every 365 days it completes a circuit. So while it's going around the sun, it's also doing the rotating game, right? So it's got both of those things going on, and that affects how we see the sky. Now, the way astronomers model that is with something called the celestial sphere. I've got two examples, and I'm going to start with this one. This one's a little bit easier to see because things are projected onto a blue backdrop. You can see there are a number of yellow dots all over it, and those yellow dots are stars, and the bigger ones are the brighter stars, and the smaller ones are the dimmer stars. Now, what you probably can't see is that the different stars are also connected by lines to represent constellations, the constellation patterns, and things like that. Now, this is a globe that looks an awful lot like an Earth globe, and there's a reason for that. First of all, it's got an equator, which we call the celestial equator. It's got an axis through it, which on top is the north celestial pole and the south celestial pole. This is really just Earth coordinates projected onto the sky, okay, for orientation. There's something else going on this globe. There are these sort of red-orange dots here. That's actually the path of the sun over the course of 1 year. So over the course of a day, the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and we see it arc over the sky. But over the course of the year, the sun is at different places. And that is one place where this version of the celestial sphere could be used to kind of help understand how it is that we see different constellations from different places on the Earth and with different seasons. Here, we simply lift this map and we put it on this clear globe. Well, what that means is it's going to be hard to see these stars here on the clear globe, especially in this room. You may be seeing glare from a few lights. But what you can see is that there's a model of the Earth embedded inside the globe of the sky, because that's how we perceive the universe. We live on the planet Earth, we look out and we see this pattern of stars and galaxies and all kinds of other things. But the other thing we see is the sun. So the sun is in this model as well. It's a yellow ball, just like the yellow ball I was using. It's a little yellow ball that can be rotated around, and that rotating around, okay, allows you to place the sun at different places for the year. So for example, over here, at this position, you can see that the sun is above the celestial equator, which is just a projection of the Earth's equator to the sky. North and south pole projecting the sky give the celestial north pole and south pole. At this time of the year, it would be summer. Now, if we think about the sun migrating around over the course of 365 days, a different part of the year, halfway later, 6 months, 180 days, here's a position where the sun, you can see, is below the celestial equator. Well, that would be wintertime for northern hemisphere, summertime for southern hemisphere, but winter for us. What happens is, wherever the sun is, the constellations opposite the sun are the ones that are up at nighttime, when the Earth is blocking the light from the sun. So between sunrise and sunset, these are the constellations you would see during the winter. Now if I put the sun back to during the summertime, the sun's here. These are stars you're not going to see during the summertime. They're going to be, you got the bright blue sky, the dim stars are kind of washed out. Rotate around 12 hours to nighttime, these are going to be the constellations that you're going to see at nighttime. A different set of constellations in the summer than it was from the winter. And so a celestial sphere is just a tool for astronomers to help get oriented around the sky and to be able to understand why we see different things from different latitudes, whether you're in the north versus the south of the Earth, but also with different seasons depending on where the sun is as it migrates through the zodiac constellations, and even over the course of a day, thinking about how the sun rises and sets.